Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. I've got some spicy rumors swirling around that could shake the NFC West to its core. We're talking about a potential blockbuster trade that could dramatically reshape the Seahawks' defensive front, and honestly, the entire outlook of their championship aspirations. And it involves none other than T.J. Watt, one of the most feared pass rushers in the league. Now I know what you're thinking. Watt in Seahawks colors. Yeah, it sounds wild, but the buzz is real, and the sources are pointing toward a serious possibility that the Steelers might be looking to move him, and the Seahawks could be right there at the bargaining table. So let's break down what's happening behind the scenes. The Steelers, currently sitting at a 4-5 record, have some serious financial and roster considerations. They're cap-strapped, around $6 million in cap space, and they've got their eyes on a major rebuild, especially on the offensive side, with a focus on acquiring a franchise quarterback. That's where this trade gets interesting. Reports suggest that the Steelers are open to trading Watt in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2026 draft and a second-round pick in 2027. What's the motivation? They're trying to free up cap space, roughly $23 million, to make a run at signing a top-tier quarterback like Fields, who's reportedly on their radar with a hefty $200 million contract. Now, for Seattle, this could be a game-changer. The Seahawks, currently sitting at a solid 7-2 record, are dealing with some injuries, Reed being out and Jones being questionable, so adding Watt to their front seven would be massive. Watt isn't just a good player, he's an elite pass rusher, someone who can completely change the dynamics of a defense. Think of him as the sort of player who can turn a good defense into a dominant one. His stats this season: in just 9 games, he's already accumulated 20 solo tackles, 15 assists, and a jaw-dropping 7-0 sacks, along with 45 quarterback hits and 2 forced fumbles. His career numbers are even more impressive: 125 sacks, over 550 tackles, 7 Pro Bowls, a Defensive Player of the Year award, and a PFF grade of 92. 7, that's elite, no doubt. And here's the kicker: Watt's recent injury history isn't a big red flag. He had some moderate injuries in 2025, missing 2 games with a rib issue, but he's back to being a dominant force, especially with that bull rush. He's consistently pressuring quarterbacks with a 90% success rate on his rushes. When you combine his talent with the Seahawks' need for multiple sacks against top-tier offenses, the fit is obvious. Seattle's defense, which currently allows around 18. 3 points per game, could see that number drop significantly. Projected stats with Watt: an additional 11 sacks, a bump in pressure rate from around 32% to over 56%, and a doubling of their front seven impact. This would help Seattle not only get after the quarterback more often, but also reduce big plays. YPC could drop from 3-7 to 3-0, and that late-season push for the playoffs could be just what they need to make a serious Super Bowl run. You see, the Seahawks are already playing well, 7 wins to just 2 losses, but adding Watt could elevate their chances even more. Think about it. With Watt anchoring that pass rush, opposing quarterbacks would have less time, forcing quicker decisions and more mistakes. That, in turn, would lead to more turnovers. Seattle's secondary could benefit from the extra pressure, increasing their turnover rate from about 1-4 per game to potentially over 2-6. It's a recipe for a stronger defense that can keep pace with the high-powered offenses the NFC has seen this year. Now, let's talk about the broader implications. If this trade happens, it's not just about boosting the defense. It's about signaling a clear statement of intent from the Seahawks management. They're not just trying to sneak into the playoffs, they want to dominate. Watt's presence would be a huge boost in the playoffs, where the game often comes down to who can get pressure and force mistakes. His impact in the postseason: think back to 2023 when he made a real difference against the Bengals, 3 sacks and a forced fumble, showing how he can be a difference maker in crucial moments. If Watt joins Seattle, the Super Bowl odds could shift dramatically. Right now, they're around +1,500, but with Watt, those odds could tighten to around +450, making the Seahawks one of the most dangerous teams in the league. And let's not forget, Watt's addition would also serve as a rallying point for the entire team and fan base. It's not just a trade. It's a statement that the Seahawks are serious about winning now and in the future. This kind of move could propel them into that rarefied air, competing for back-to-back championships, especially with a defense that's now anchored by some of the best pass-rushing talent in the league. Imagine the roar of Lumen Field when Watt sacks the quarterback. Those moments are what Seahawks fans live for. Of course, nothing is certain yet. The Steelers are in a tough spot with cap considerations and their rebuild plans, and Watt's injury history, while manageable, is something to keep an eye on. But if the trade goes down, it would be a seismic shift, one that could elevate Seattle into the elite tier of NFL teams and mark a new chapter in their quest for another Super Bowl title. The Seahawks have always been about building a formidable defense, and bringing in a player like Watt would be the ultimate piece to the puzzle. It's not just about adding sacks. It's about transforming the entire defensive identity and giving the team a real shot at capturing that Lombardi trophy once again. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Seahawks are positioned perfectly to make a deep playoff run, especially if they bolster their pass rush. Adding Watt would be a game changer, and it's clear that both teams see the potential upside. Seattle's defense, which has shown flashes of brilliance all season, could become a fearsome unit capable of shutting down any offense. That's the kind of boost that turns good teams into Super Bowl contenders. And in the high-stakes world of the NFL, sometimes one player can make all the difference. Watt's impact would be felt immediately, and his presence could be the final piece that puts Seattle over the top in a competitive NFC landscape. In the end, it's about the fans' passion and the team's relentless pursuit of greatness. The Seahawks have a talented core, and with a few strategic moves, like possibly landing Watt, they could be favorites in the postseason. The NFC is stacked with talented teams, but with Watt on their side, the Seahawks would have an extra edge, an X-factor that could tip the scales in their favor. So keep your eyes peeled, Seahawks Nation, because if this trade happens, it could be the start of a new era, one where Seattle reasserts itself as a powerhouse hungry for that second Super Bowl ring. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. We're in this together, and the best is yet to come.